Hello and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Alison Chiwara. I am the founder and co-mental health consultant at Human Focused Limited. Today, I really want to talk about the power or the idea of thinking differently and really challenging you to think differently and rethink EDI, shaping it around exploring cross-cultural referencing. How about the idea of Ubuntu Philosophy? The Ubuntu Philosophy in defining and transforming diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in our workplaces. Could it be a game changer? After all, its values are embodied around respect, community, sharing, caring, and trust. And I see it as a perfect model for positive organizational culture, right? Ubuntu is based around the core value that I am because we are. I am because we are. It values the we in the I am. It resonates deeply with our innate human need for social connections and that sense of belonging that we seek. And from a neuroscience perspective, studies have shown that our brains, as I always say, are wired to seek out social bonds, empathy, and that cooperation that we so fundamentally need in the one that drives our human behaviors. In the words of a very incredible neuroscientist, Dr. Marco Lacaboni, humans are wired for empathy, cooperation, and fairness. For me, is the interconnectedness of the humanity and the idea that our individual well-being is directly tied to the individual, to the well-being of others. Ubuntu makes no reference to differences. It sees us as one. So I will tap on again the wisdom of Dr. Brené Brown, who is a renowned researcher on vulnerability and human connection. And she said, connection is why we are here. It is that what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. Now, as you probably know, for centuries, going back, Africans have embraced the Ubuntu philosophy, and Ubuntu has been used as a guiding principle for social setups, but also for decision-making processes and conflict resolution. I recently watched a clip where this was being used in a sort of communal thought session, and I found it quite incredible that it still carries its values even today. In African cultures, Ubuntu is it actually serves as the compass for achieving harmony, for achieving solidarity and mutual respect amongst individuals, whether they're from diverse backgrounds. It could be tribes, clans, and they often share different viewpoints on religion and how they do things, and of course other rituals and so on. And so this is really, really an important part of how they live their lives in an incredible way. The Ubuntu teaches us that when we acknowledge and honor the humanity in others, we actually create a sense of oneness and that belonging that transcends differences, as I said earlier, and unites us in reaching shared goals. In the workplace, the Ubuntu ideology could be incorporated quite nicely, I feel. It can transform how we approach EDI. By simply embracing Ubuntu, we can shift our focus from tolerance or compliance, those tick box exercises, to genuine empathy, understanding and respect for others' uniqueness, differences, and their viewpoints too. Now imagine a workplace where every individual is valued for their contributions, where conflicts are resolved in an almost harmonious dialogue and understanding, and where collaborations and support are the norm rather than the exception. This is the transformative power of Ubuntu that I would like to see in action in our workplaces. Infusing and marinating workplaces with the spirit of Ubuntu should be the call for today. We can create a really incredible culture that does celebrate and welcomes diversity, encourages inclusivity, and gives others a sense of belonging on a daily basis. It is the gift that just keeps giving. And when we see ourselves reflected in others, we have room for authenticity in our connections and actually trust and collaborations within our workplaces and be more innovative in our approaches. I will quote Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who has often spoke about Ubuntu in such a profound way. He says, "A person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, for he or she has a proper self-assurance that comes from the knowing that he or she belongs in a great whole." That holistic approach to EDI is often reflected and often highlighted in the Ubuntu philosophies, in the Ubuntu practices. I, for one, long to see workplaces where Ubuntu is embraced and employees actually thrive within this framework of the Ubuntu. It is one that has worked for centuries, and I know it is one that will work for even more centuries to come. Africa has used it for many decades, many centuries, and yet they still go back to the Ubuntu. That I am because we are. May the spirit of Ubuntu guide us in our individual and organizational pursuits of doing good. And from myself, Human Focus Limited, to your home, to your organization, and to you, it's goodbye for now. Until next time.